Hello friends, this is Priya. Welcome to valuetrainings.com. Under SOAPUI training, what we are going to cover today. Today I'll start with the terms which we can use interchangeable for the testing purpose. So we all are here for SOAPUI training, right? And under SOAPUI, we can use many terms like SOAPUI testing or web services testing or web API testing, REST API testing, REST JSON testing. So let's start with all of these one by one. So very first thing about software testing. What is the meaning of software testing? See, testing is nothing but a way to find the bugs. If you read this complete definition, then you will understand it is a process of executing a program or a project or a process or any other application just with the intent of finding the bugs. Bugs or errors, error means what? Where it lacks, where it is going to fail. We'll just execute it just with the purpose of finding the bugs, errors or the failures. Okay, it can also be stated as testing is a process of the validation and verification. These are the terms which are basically concerned with the testing. Validations and verifications. Verification means just to check, to test where it lacks, and validations means just to change, just to validate it on the basis of some results, on the basis of some verifications. Okay, and just with the intent of finding the bugs, as well as so that it can meet the business or technical requirements. What is the meaning of this? It means that where we want it to work faster, it should work fast. Where we want it to work with a workload of 100 people, then it should work. Okay, so this is the only definition for testing. Now the term for SOAPUI testing. See, when I say I'm going to test my web service, I'm going to test my, so instead of web service, let's say about these three. If I'm going to test my program, if I'm going to test my project, or if I'm going to test my process with the help of SOAPUI tool, then I'll say it is SOAPUI testing. Okay, and when I say about web services testing, see, web services is what? Web services, one of the list of services are inside a one web service. Okay, so when I say I'm going to test my web service, then I'll say it is web services testing. And when I say web API testing, it means testing of a web-based API. What is the meaning of API? I did explain it in my last session, or if I want to explain it about the API, okay, if this is my something and okay, here it is. If I say this is my GUI, GUI is something with which end user is going to interact, and API is something on which GUI is present. Okay, and when I say I'm going to test my this API, then it is web API testing. Understand? And GUI, for GUI we do have different tools, and for API testing we are going to use SOAPUI. Understand? So web API is something on which GUI is present, and API is going to work on the message layer, not on the application layer. These are the layers under the transfer of the messaging, and many more things are there. But for the API, you can just say GUI is something which is present on the API, and for SOAPUI we are going to test our API, okay, which is actually working on the messaging layer. What about REST JSON? See, REST JSON means when I said I'm going to test my web API or a web service, mainly a web API with the REST is one architecture and JSON as a communication language, then I'll say it is REST JSON testing. Okay, and what about SOAP testing? SOAP testing means when I'm going to test with the help of a SOAP as my protocol. Okay, so these are the terms. And okay, functional testing. See, functional test is something is just to check, just to test the features and the functionality of, after this, what I can say, of a program or a process or a project. Okay, so this is all about the various terms which we can use interchangeable in our complete testing scenario. Mainly the concept of testing. Okay, so under all testing, under my testing all these types of testing, I can write. Okay, so this is all about the topics for today, and yes, we all are done. Thank you.